have also a lot of new visualization parts to the web app. So these demos are designed to mimic our development style. RIPEstat is designed in short sprints, and we focus our development efforts on each sprint on what our users have given us for feedback. So it's very community oriented, and we want you to get involved. So since the last demo, which was 4 weeks ago, we've worked on these things. There's some new performance measuring tools which we plan to use during the next couple months to focus on the speed of RIPEstat and at the same time reliability by keeping track of errors. The geolocation plugin, which is one of our most popular, has had a few user interface improvements, including clustering when there's too many points to display, and country ratio information. In addition, we've extended our origin history plugin to also display transits, and we've added a plugin about allocation history from RIPestat. Finally, after I show these things, Giordano will introduce the beginnings of a mobile version of RIPEstat. So, here is the interface which we developed for our own performance measurements to help improve the speed of RIPEstat. You see over time the queries which were made for different resources and different plugins, which are the plugins are on the left and the resources are along the top. And for each query, we display how long it took. So if you see spikes in the graphs, then you know there was a problem right then. And if you see the graph going up or going down, you know performance is degrading or improving. Well, we are going to monitor this constantly. And at the same time, we can get some more detailed information by focusing on one of the plugins and one of the resources. And here we can see where the time is spent in this plugin. For example, for visibility, most of the time is spent gathering the data. That's what this demonstrates. So this is an internal tool right now, but it's going to be very valuable to us, and we plan someday to make it available for more public stuff. The other aspect of the tool is that if you have a query where you experience a particularly bad problem with performance, you can send us the query ID, which is displayed at the bottom of each box after it loads. And we can use this tool to analyze where the time was taken. So here we see someone queried for AS3333, and each of the boxes which were loaded and how long it took. And then we can further subdivide the box loading time into the different plugins that make it up. Okay, so that's the performance thing which we are going to focus on, and hopefully these tools are going to show you some nice results by the next demo, which by September. So here's one of the improvements to our new geolocation plugin. You see that there's 451 prefixes being announced by Google's AS in the States, and instead of displaying them all to you, we display an aggregated bubble, which when you zoom in on the bubble, you will be able to see more specific locations. So here we can see where most of the prefixes are located on the East Coast. And as we zoom in further, eventually you can see the individual points. So here's a nice prefix in Dublin, for example. The second improvement to the geolocation plugin is the pie graph showing the distribution of the prefixes, or actually the addresses, for any AS. So, for example, here, you can see that this AS, which is Global Crossing, has most of their addresses in the Great Britain, but they're fairly well distributed around the world. So this is just an initial display of the type of aggregations that we want to make available to users to get more useful information out of the map. Okay, here is one of our new plugins, which is allocation history. This uses RIPEstat and IANA's listing of allocated prefixes and AS numbers to show you a very high-level view of who owns what. So in this case, when we're looking at a fairly specific /14, we can see that the prefix was for example, 154/16 was in ARIN up until 2005 when it was transferred to the RIPE NTC. And we can also see that this /8 was administered in a different way by IANA until 2008 when it was started to be administered by Afrinic. So this data comes from RIPEstat, which is published by all the RIRs, and so it's fairly official, and it's maybe more reliable than the WHOIS, which is displayed by another allocations and assignments history plugin. The next thing is we made a fairly big improvement to one of our plugins, which used to show origin history, which is what you see now. So here, for this IPv6 prefix, we can see that it has been announced over time by two different ASs. And you can see also the related prefixes underneath it. And this is what we had before. Now, the new thing is that when you enable the transits, it now shows you the first AS after the origin seen in all our announcements. So we can see that there's a lot more going on here, and that it just gives you one more level of information, but in an easily digestible way. Okay, well, those are our improvements to the RIPEstat website. However, Giordano can now explain what's going on the mobile side.
Good morning. I'm Giordano D'Alotto, and I work as a trainee in the research and development department. Perfect. As David has just said, our department is also working on a mobile version of RIPEstat, and which will adapt all the contents that are now shown on the website to the features and to the capability of smartphones and tablet devices. I'm now going to show you the first partial prototype of the application that is currently working on iPad. But an iPhone version and maybe later an Android version will be also available. We then follow. Our intention is to make available on the App Store a version of the iPad application by the end of September. Okay, let's run the application. This is the main window of the application. Of the application, and which is divided into a left-hand control pane and a right-hand one. The left-hand control pane contains an input text label where you can provide the resource number that you are interested in and buttons that you can click to access the corresponding plugin. And the right-hand content pane where you will see charts, diagrams, and graphs that show the received information. Our idea is to produce actually a universal application where the left-hand control pane in an iPhone application will cover the whole screen, and clicking on the button will result in the content pane, the right one, entering the screen, so that we can reuse the code and maybe produce an application that is quite similar on both iPad and iPod. Please consider that till now both performances of the code and the speed charts and diagrams are drawn is not optimized at all. Well, till now we can query for an AES number and see 5 plugins. This is 15169, that is the Google AES number. For the purposes of this demo, we actually stored the information on the device. And we shouldn't, just to be honest, because it's quite fast. And if you have already seen the web version and you have used it, you will see you will recognize many similarities with the web version. Okay, we can see the chart that is showing the evolution in time of the number of unanswered prefixes. Of course, you can always access the information by clicking on the show and curve to access the actual data. We can see the pie chart for the prefix size distribution. This is actually a donut chart with an inner and an outer donut. The inner donut expresses the ratio or the portion, if you want, of the number of unanswered prefixes between IPv4, that is in cyan, and IPv6, that is in yellow, while the outer donut describes instead the composition of the v4 and v6 address space in terms of how many /23/24 are included in that space. Okay. We can see the radar chart or spider chart, if you prefer, showing the minimum, the average, and the average without prepending stats about the AES path length that is seen from by Pierce where it is located. We can also see the map view showing the current geographical location of the prefixes that this AES is announcing. Multiple prefixes are aggregated in the same point if they have the same geographical coordinates, so same latitude and same longitude. But of course, you can just click on the pin and show more information. For example, all the prefixes that are in that point. And finally, we added a new plugin that show a thematic map that describes the number of unanswered prefixes per country. At the bottom, you can see that the countries are ordered according to the number of prefixes they announce that are contained in that country. And we are now using a logarithmic scale to logarithmic proportion to scale the size of the country, so that this quantitative information can be shown and recognized. Now David will be back. Thank you for your attention.
The demo part of our presentation, and now we're going to go on to questions. If you click on these two buttons in your your WebEx client, then you'll be able to ask for a microphone, which we can grant you, and you can say your piece. Are there any questions? Well, maybe not. So then you can play with the stuff we showed you on staff.rep.net. Of course, it's live, and we have multiple ways for you to give us feedback, and the preferred is to send a message to the Mat Working Group. So I would like to thank you for your time, and that's the end of our demo.